Hello and welcome to another episode of Newsflash. I'm Christina Thompson and let's talk about January 2019. Did January feel like the longest month ever to you guys? I mean, think back to where you were on January 1st, New Year's Eve. I was working and that seems like years ago, light years ago. January was also a huge month in terms of headlines, and let's talk about those for a little bit, because for starters, January made history as ending the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. This shutdown lasted for 35 days, and that means that non-essential federal workers were working with no pay for many weeks, and that is still unclear about whether or not they will receive back pay for this time they put in during the government shutdown. This is all because Democrats and Republicans cannot agree on a border security plan. Now, the government is temporarily up and running again, but if Trump doesn't get his way with a border wall, he says he is entertaining the idea of declaring a national emergency to build his wall. This is the perfect segue into one of the most heated topics of the month of January, and that is border security. At the end of 2018 and into 2019, we saw numerous children who were attempting to make that trek at our southern border into the country dying. We also saw a toddler who was pushed up over the wall and plummeted 15 feet. It is reported that that toddler is okay and did survive the fall, but these are all raising concerns about, is the border patrol and border security that we have right now truly working? Tonight we will hear from President Trump during his State of the Union address. I think we can expect to hear him talking about the state of our economy as a positive of his presidency. And I also would bet my bottom dollar that we will hear a lot about immigration and border security. Because remember, that clock is still ticking on the government shutdown ending. Really, I mean, they only put forward enough money to fund the government shutdown through February 15th. And I think that means we can expect President Trump to try to come up with a solution tonight during his address. Now, think back to where we talked about the potential for a declaration of national emergency. Would the State of the Union address be the perfect time for Donald Trump to declare that? Or will Democrats and Republicans work together to come up with a plan for immigration policy? Number 4. Weather. Oh my gosh, think back to last week's polar vortex. Some cities in the United States we saw being colder than Antarctica. I know Chicago, for one, reached almost negative 50 degrees, including wind chill. Because of the polar vortex, at least 21 people died. That number is expected to potentially grow as more information about what exactly happened in the coldest areas of the United States last week come to light. Finally, let's end on a good note. Maybe, depending on who you rooted for, Super Bowl 53, Patriots versus the Rams. It was arguably one of the most uninteresting Super Bowls of all time. I mean, definitely one of the lowest scoring. Patriots came away scoring with the win 13-3. And I know there was a lot of controversy about this game because many people felt as if the teams who were playing in this grand finale really didn't deserve to be there. Whether or not they did deserve to be there, they were there, and Patriots came away once again with the Super Bowl win. Well, there you have it, the top 5 headlines of January 2019. Thank you for joining us on Newsflash. I'm Christina Thompson. See you next time.